Hey everyone, April here, and today I have a special video showcasing Halloween costumes I made for me and my two boys. I didn't make one for my daughter because, well, she's only a year old and I just buy one for her. But yeah, so this has been a long, tedious, very tedious process to do this. I actually started 5 months ago. It all started because I wanted to have a Springtrap costume for Halloween. Now, I did get one last year. I actually commissioned someone to make one for me. And when I saw it on the website, I thought it looked great. When it came, I was kind of like, it seems weird. I mean, it looks like it did online. I can't lie, it looks exactly like it did. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just because I was excited trying to buy one. But, this is what I had gotten. That was last year. This cost me about a little over $500 to get it shipped. I think it came from Russia. It was cool, you know. It had a mouth that could move when you open your mouth. Had lights for the eyes, which I actually took out. I actually had to redo the eyes completely because they painted them all white, so you couldn't even look at it. But yeah, it was a full suit. I still have it, actually. So yeah, about 5 months ago, I bought a 3D printer, specifically because I found a file. There's a guy on YouTube, Tim's Creations. I'll have a link to the video, but he made one of these. He's actually the one that came up with the STL file. He put it on Thingiverse, so you can go to his video and find the link to those Thingiverse files over there if you want, so you can print out one yourself. So 5 months ago, bought a 3D printer. I started printing out pieces. That 3D printer, now I've never used a 3D printer before. Totally new at it. I didn't know what I was doing. I might have broke it, I don't know. So I had to buy another one. But still I don't really know what I'm doing. Pieces would print out good, some wouldn't, some would stop halfway. I actually did my helmet 3 times for Springtrap. The first one I did, everything I printed was 1-for-1 on the files, but it was a little too small for me. Over here, the one for my son, the smaller one, that was 1-to-1 for the helmet. Some of the other pieces I had to lower a little bit for him, because this costume's actually, well, both the Springtraps are going to look shorter. The mid pieces aren't going to be so wide once you're wearing it. It's just that's kind of the way I did the little mock PVC piping dummies underneath, just to hold them up and everything, so they wouldn't have to be just all over the floor, sprawled out. So they will be a little bit shorter. But yeah, so it really was hard to get in my head, and I don't have a big head either. But the hinges for the jaws would hurt my ears, so I decided to go a size up. But when I did that, it didn't print all the way. It only printed about half of it, so I reprinted. And I had to, you know, sand it down, make it smooth, and then I glued the pieces together, but it didn't look quite right, and I was like, I'm not going to go through the habit or the process of furring it just to have it look awkward underneath, because then it'll show through the fabric. So I redid it again. This has been, yeah, I'm like at my wit's end. I'm like done. I don't think there's anything else I'm going to do for these. But yeah, so my oldest son came into the basement, which is where I do all my video games, YouTube videos, where I keep all my different collections of things, action figures, comics, games, systems, Legos, anime, Blu-ray, DVD, where I keep all my stuff. The whole basement is pretty much my man cave, except for one small section for the laundry, and then another section where I keep storage and stuff. But it's a big basement, so I'm able to have a lot of different rooms down here just for all my different things. So he came down, saw the printer printing. He's like, I want one. I was like, okay. So it became me printing one to having to print 2. And having to print a lot of pieces over and over again because they wouldn't do it right the first time. And then my youngest son, who's 5, he loves Huggy Wuggy, so he wanted a Huggy Wuggy costume. My wife was going to get one on Amazon. I was like, okay. So I looked, and all of them looked like, let's be honest, looked like crap. So, that was something falling. But yeah, so I made my own for him. The head is really big, obviously, from looking at the body. Now, the fursuit I made will fit him perfect. The head is a little bit big. The way I wanted it to be, which the way it is his face is going to be in the mouth area. But when you look at pictures of Huggy Wuggy, the mouth only takes up about maybe 2/3 of the head, and the rest is the blue. So that's why it has to be so big. Plus, it had to be wide enough to fit a human head in, because if you look at Huggy Wuggy's head on pictures and everything, a person's head can't really fit in there without it being like smushed against the side. So I had to make it thicker, which meant the whole thing had to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, so that's the top. You go down, see the rest. Now, I only have my hands here right now. The hands I made for my son, he took them upstairs, so they're up there somewhere in his room. Yeah, so I didn't bother bringing them back down. I'm not hunting through there right now. I still have like over a week to go find those for Halloween. For the Huggy Wuggy, he does have hands and the feet. I just went on Amazon and bought yellow mittens, because that's all Huggy Wuggy has for hands is yellow mittens. And the feet too, or just yellow mittens for feet. So, perfect. So that was easy. Alright, so, yeah, I usually don't move the camera around too much when I'm filming anything. I usually just do game reviews, or gameplays, and action figure reviews. So, it's a little different. Let me just... So, Huggy Wuggy here, we'll go over first. The whole head, the frame is just poster board. So, I just made the shape. It shouldn't be as flat. I didn't make this flat. The poster board underneath, or is it not poster board? What is it for kids? School project. Maybe it is poster board. I don't know, but it folds up, or it's really big. It's like foam. You know what I'm talking about. But I did make this actually. It goes up, and it's supposed to go dip, then go up, and then dip right here in the middle, and same on the other side. But with the fabric on it, it kind of just made it look flat. And what I did with the fur for all of it is, you would think the fur should be facing down, but it didn't look like it was matte like it should be for Huggy. It looked too smooth. So what I did was I sewed everything so the fabric was pointing up, and then I combed it down so it looks like clumps of fur instead of just being all smooth. And I think that would look good. And there is a zipper on the pants here, and there's one in the back of the shirt for it. You know, so you can get in, zip it up, be nice. These are just googly eyes I bought, but I redid the thing completely. I took out the little black cardboard that was in there, because I didn't want it, because it was only about that big. So I took that out, painted the whole innard black, and then the outside rim, where the paper or the cardboard backing would be, I just painted that white. Hot glue it on, perfect. The red lips, I used pipe covers. Foam pipe covers. And then I painted it with a form of red. I went to Walmart and bought like 5 different red acrylic paints. So I don't remember which one I actually used. Then I used enamel spray over it so that the paint doesn't come off. So that's cool. The teeth I got from, oh geez, I don't even know where. Some place that does furry suits. You know, they sell canine teeth and other stuff. So I bought 3 different sizes, and I just hot glued them on. You can see in there the poster board. I don't know if you can, probably not. And this, where his head is, I just bought a couple of those, the Grim Reaper costume masks that you can look out but you can't see in. And I just stretched one of them really far, cut it, and then I hot glued it on the inside. Really proud of that. Really think that thing looks great. Originally, I had bigger ideas. What I wanted it to do was somehow have it so he could look out the eyes, and I was going to have the lips be movable, and maybe have like a cord that he could pull, so he could be a smiling Huggy Wuggy, and then it would open up to show all the teeth. But I lost a lot of motivation, and I was like, I'm just going to make the mouth the way it is. I mean, it looks great, I think. And then the Springtraps. These were a pain in my ass to put together. I cannot lie. The feet are not 3D printed. Tim Creations, he did not do any files for feet, so I'll go into those later. So the helmets are a little different, not just because of the size. Well, the fabric, I guess we just talk about the fabric first. I took yellow, I forgot what kind of fabric it was. Yellow, felt? And then I tried dipping it in a bucket full of paint, and that didn't work. It would just run out. So then I used actual, clothing dye. Mixed yellow, or mixed green and brown together. Like a full bottle of green, half a bottle of brown. And it got me this nice color. It was a pain though, because every time I'd hang it up, all the colors would drip out. So then, otherwise, if I didn't hang it up though, to get it dry, I'd just leave it flat on the ground. I have a big tarp set up in the basement so I could dry everything. But it would just, yeah, it was taking way too long. But it finally happened. And then I have darker colors for down low. And that's just me having to double dip and dry again. Now what I did there is a little bit of discoloration for the eyelids and for the chest area, which really it's not. What I did was instead of using separate pieces, I just took what was here, flipped it, and it worked perfect. You can see that it looks different, right? That's because one side is more fuzzy than the other. The side I left on the outside is the smoother fabric, whereas this is the fuzzy fabric, so just flipping it looks different. And not so much on the chest. I mean, if you look close, yeah, you can see it's different. Smooth, fuzzy. His looks really good, though, with the coloring. Because I was dyeing everything by hand, different parts of different sheets of fabric I had got a little bit of different coloring. So, the helmets, I like. So, yeah, they do move. Actually, let me take that down. Alright, so for him, I just added some thick car cable electrical wires. Then I got some regular kind of small wires for other areas here. Kind of mix some for there. I try to make it as much like the pictures I could find as I could. I used foam to stick those through on the inside. So pretty cool. I painted up here silver or metallic silver, and of course then I sprayed it with the enamel spray to keep it nice. For the ears, these are separate pieces, 1, 2. Same thing, painted, and then inside I used it's called JB's Weld, I think it is. It's this really cool stuff. You mix these two things together and then it cold welds stuff together. I love it. So I have that in there, and then I used a metal, some kind of picture frame wire kind of thing, and I wrapped it around 2 of the pieces in there, and then got it really tight. Then I just add a little bit of hot glue on top of it, just for extra safety, so it's not going anywhere. With that weld, the glue and the wire, that's good. And if the weld does break, that's what the wire is for. So this doesn't actually just come off. And I also make sure to get those earpieces nice and welded in. I love that weld stuff. And then for the eyes, I just used Christmas ornaments. You can buy them, halves of them. And I just glued it on the inside. And then the silver rings you see, that's also part of the print file. I just used a different color plastic to print. I used gray for all of it except for the eyes. I used this silver or silk gray color, so it looks like metal. I like it. And if you look on the inside, you can see a bunch of wires in there. I put a chin stop here just so that I can make the mouth move. Because it's I had to make this bigger for my head. My head doesn't touch the bottom, so this is just there so I can actually get that to move. It won't move much. It'll be like that. I think that's cool. I like it. Put a bunch of foam padding in there. And there's different sets of wires. So I bought this. So this first wire here just connects to a regular 9-volt battery. It's these special light eyes you can buy. They're like glasses. two wireframe kind of glasses that just rest on your nose. It has red lights. So I thought that'd be pretty cool for Springtrap here. Not that bright. Now my son, I didn't glue. That's what I did. I pretty much stretched it out so it fit in there and I glued it. So me and him both have the red eyes. His are not attached inside, mine are. Like I said, I glued it. And then I put the wires up through the foam here. Now the way I have it is my eyes, when I'm looking through here, will actually look under the lights. And I can see perfectly through it. I have full range everywhere from that spot. Where these are just, the lights are a little bit higher up than my eyeball is. So it doesn't get in the way or anything like that. That suit that I showed you before, the one that I got last year, I took the lighting out of that one. And that one, I glued the electrical box to the top here. And then just fit that switch. And you get brighter light, brighter white lights. I didn't do that for my sons. I only had one of these sets, and I hate doing... I'm not good at making things, so... But this thing looks awesome. I'm proud that I made this. It could be better. I have a whole year until next year to make improvements to make it even more better. Just put them back over on Deadpool here. Yeah, so for the piping, you can just go to Home Depot. And I just got them, put them together. I put some foam on there, just hold pieces up. I didn't bother doing arms, didn't need it. I just made the tops go out to the shoulders, and then the arms look like, you know, they're in position. But can't really touch it too much because it will want to fall apart, and I can't glue all the pipes together, or else I'm not going to be able to get that off the frame. So it's kind of just careful. But enough of that. The rest of the suit. Now, I don't really need to go over both because they're both pretty much the same. The sizes are different, and mine just has extra lights, whereas my son's doesn't. I can't think of any other differences. If I do, I'll say them. But, see, I did the chest. I put wires in here going down, because that's what I saw in the pictures of them. I'm not going to worry about underneath organs and stuff. That's, I'm done. Trying to do so much extra. As I have until next year. But, all these pieces, I have this elastic band in there. I don't know what it's called, just I found it in the fabric section at Walmart. So they're connecting everything, and the way the chest is printed, the back and the front are 4 pieces. So you have 8 pieces total. 1, 2, 3, 4, same on the back. So I use that special welding stuff. So I put all the front together, all the back, and in here, so right here, as you can see, like I said, that stretchy black stuff. But the way it's connected is right here. Oop, there we go, right there, right here. I dry welded buckles. So you just pinch your fingers in. I'm not going to actually unclasp it because that's too much work and things will just plop off and fall all over, and I don't want that. Sorry about the janky movement. I'm actually holding the camera in the hand right now. So there's one up here, one here, and another one here, and it's on both sides like that. So each suit has a total of 6 of those. So you were just, it's a 2-person job putting these on. At least a 2-person job. And getting them off, you better have 2 people or you will be trapped inside these. Because the way the pieces are, you can't really get too much mobility. The arm's only going to go up to like there. You need someone to get their hand in there. Now, I didn't just glue the black straps here. I actually have them welded on with that stuff to little snap buttons, because this way, if I have the straps here, you wouldn't be able to open it. It'd be stuck. So this way, these come off, take the arms down, put the suit on, then you snap those back on, and you're good. Actually, you can see them. You can see one of them right there. There's another one on there. Now, I have them there, straps there. The hands, I'm not going to have strapped on, just because that'd be too much. I'd rather have it. Granted, you have to put your arm in this here in one go for the arm, but the hands, you should be able to take your time to get them on. And if you want to get them off, you shouldn't have to worry about, you know, having to take the whole thing off if you just want to get the hands off. Added a little button. I just cut the back of it off, glued it on. Go down, we get the hips. Again, this is not one piece, this is two, and this is done in halves here and here. And I use that cold welding stuff to connect it all. And then for the fur, I just used hot glue to put all that together. And we got more straps holding the legs. And no, they're just like that because the way the straps are with it hanging free. It should be like that. But it's going to turn again. Yep. So you get the thigh pieces, and you get the shin with a little knee here. Now the hands. So this is how the hands are. Some of them are missing pieces because it's supposed to. Because Springtrap doesn't have a full hand of fingers. So little pieces would be missing. Now fingertips will come out of the two here that don't have ends. That one and then the pinky. I was thinking maybe getting just silver dress gloves to look like metal coming out of them maybe. I got the thumb here. With little two of those elastic things holding it in place. Then you got all the way through the fingers. Now one thing you'll see on the inside is I actually painted all the pieces black. And then after I did that, I used this special epoxy resin on the outside and inside of all the pieces. So makes it nice and sturdy just in case, you know, get bumped up against something or whatever. It's less likely to break. It has a hard shell besides just being the 3D printed frame in there. But let's see, so we talked about the hands already. So the feet, there is no files for 3D printed feet. And the guy who made the files says he won't do them. So, yeah, I just made my own. I kind of lost interest at this point. Not really interest, but motivation. Just getting close to Halloween, and I'm getting tired. It's like, oh my god. So, what I did was, I just used a shoe as like a base so I could make this shape around it. This is, geez, what the heck. I bought foam diorama kits. And I just used the pieces to shape it like this, the way I wanted it. I put some more of that car wire going down. Because he has, I think, yeah, 4 of them. And then this is the same tubing as Huggy Wuggy over there. Again, I painted it, but a different color red. And I sprayed more enamel spray on it to make sure it doesn't chip off. Just glued everything. And the silver is all duct tape. I just used duct tape for it. And stupid me, after I used the duct tape, I was like, I'm going to paint it so it doesn't look like duct tape. Yeah, I tried painting it silver on silver duct tape, so you couldn't see the silver paint, and it didn't help because, you know, the lines for the tape would still be there, so I was like, so I just wiped it off. You wouldn't even have noticed if it was there or not. And I just hot glued everything together. Except for the wires, I did push them in through the foam first, and then hot glue it. Just to make it extra sturdy. Alright, so that's just been my, yeah, a look at some Halloween costumes I made for me and the kiddos of Huggy Wuggy and Springtrap. And, like I said, I've never done anything, well, I did do something like this once. I did make a fursuit, early, when I first started YouTube. A company decided to send me a special kind of doll, that, you know, the $2,000 kind, to do a review on, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a review on that. They said, well, you can keep it since we sent it. And they didn't want to pay for the shipping for it to go back, because that would cost them, like, I think it was $80 or something. I don't know. They said just keep it. So, I don't really need it. I have a wife and kids. That's just awkward, but I didn't want to get rid of it. So I decided to turn it into a mangle from, like, Five Nights in Anime. So I made a fursuit for it. I just haven't finished the fox head for it. But yeah, maybe someday I'll show that if people want to see it. Who knows? But yeah, this is just, I'm proud of them. I think they look great. I can't wait. Halloween's my favorite season. My wife rolls her eyes at me all the time when we go out trick-or-treating, because every year kids stop me, no matter what I'm wearing, and they all want pictures, and parents are there taking pictures of me and their kids while I'm trick-or-treating with my kids. It's great. My kids love it. My wife, she doesn't understand it. But yeah, usually I go as the Joker. I have a tailored-made Joker suit, and I've been doing that for years, the same one. And then last year I decided to do Springtrap, and this year I wanted to go even farther with my Springtrap. Instead of that one that I had commissioned, I made my own, and I think it came out really, really good. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, I did paint the teeth. It's not white, it's egg white. Yeah, I didn't want it to be completely white because he's supposed to be aged. So, as always, you'll have yourselves a good one. And happy Halloween. And I will see you later.